Hi, this is me, Dara, and I'm here to talk about how to handle having Pluto in the 7th house. In true Leo fashion, you'll see that I'm decked in high drama, and this is because Pluto in the 7th house is a fundamentally dramatic placement. Pluto is the planet of life, death, and rebirth, of destruction and manipulation and psychology and power. And the 7th house is the house of relationships, so I'm sure you can see that this is a pretty explosive combination. One of the most common effects of having Pluto in the 7th house is that we tend to choose partners who are, for whatever reason, dark. Many of us end up in abusive situations or with partners who manipulate or otherwise take advantage of us. Sometimes we end up in deep power struggles in our relationships, and other times we simply pick partners who might be from the wrong side of the tracks, because we also generally tend to rebel through our choice of partner. And this is partly because the 7th house is the house that we project. So anything that you have in your 7th house, you project onto the other, and generally speaking, the partner is the receptacle of that projection. And while this might seem like a pretty neat and tidy way to handle your own shadow, ultimately what this creates is a situation in which you're not able to have a self-actualized, powerful life. So the best way to handle having Pluto in the 7th house is to own your shadow, to get really, really in touch with what it is that is awful about you. All the gross things, those things that are disgusting, the things you're embarrassed by, that you don't want anyone to know, those are the things you need to get really, really comfortable with. Because ultimately, those are the things that we are already projecting onto our partner. And if you're not sure where your darkness is or what it is that's terrible about you, ask your partner. Or, even better, think back to your previous partners and what it is that you despised about them, what it is that seems so awful, and then apply it to yourself. Because I think you'll find that the things that you hated most about your previous partners are also the things that you hate most about you. Another thing that you need to get comfortable with when you have Pluto in the 7th house is the realization that a healthy relationship might actually feel boring. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that it really is boring, and it definitely doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. What it means is that you have to take responsibility for your own entertainment and your own drama, and you can't expect your partner to live that out for you anymore. Ultimately, that's unfair to your partner, and it's unfair to you. And the final thing that you can do to handle Pluto in the 7th house is to learn to get comfortable with the higher octaves of Pluto. As you step away from those more dysfunctional dynamics, what you'll discover is that Pluto wields a lot of benefits. One of the greatest things about Pluto is that it also embodies deep connection and deep transformation. So instead of projecting your shadow onto your partner, you can ultimately work with your partner to embrace your shadow and transform it. Pluto also can be highly protective, and so it allows you to create these impenetrable boundaries around your relationship so that nothing else can get in, nothing else can harm your relationship. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to having Pluto in the 7th house. It's an incredibly complex situation, but these are at least a few tips to get you started. I hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching.